Hey, what is up guys, Massive here, back to do another video, and today I've got an awesome game on Tournament Decision No Poker. This is R21 once again, and if you want to download these map packs, as always the link will be down below in the video description. You can also find the changelog there. The most up-to-date version as of the time of this video is R21J. Could have called it R22 by now. I know I'm going through the alphabet slowly with these versions, but I haven't deemed it to be significant enough on the balance front to warrant calling it another version entirely like R22. Yes, I could have gone all the way to R24 by now, which may have made more sense given it's the year 2024, but I don't want to go that route. Maybe in the future to lessen the confusion, where people are familiar with it being called R21 now. It used to be called R1.02 Plus. It's less known as that nowadays, just due to it differing in a few regards to vanilla. It's not only a bug fix patch anymore, it also does address the major balance problems with the vanilla version of the game, and takes into account the now 12 years of player experience, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of games that have been played on this patch since 2012, which was when it was released. Constantly undergoes revisions. Nowadays it's a bit trickier to decide what to change when it comes to balance, just because the nature of the competitive scene has changed. You don't have players grinding it out as often as many years ago. The reason for that is quite simple. People have moved on, they have responsibilities, kids, jobs. There's just not enough time to put into being the best at this game anymore, which is completely understandable. So in my changes, I focus on improving units that don't see much play, making those viable, and just tweaking the balance in minor ways. We know for a fact that the tip vane was pretty lame before, couldn't be dodged. Nowadays it can be, and I've received really good feedback on the tip vane change, which was actually taken from EA's official 1.03 file for tip vane, though I did tweak the timings and damage, as it was not perfect. But yeah, you can go off the tip field now and not take any damage. However, it is more damage you will take. There's always something to talk about for me when there is not much action happening. I know some commentators don't have much to say, but I myself, I can commentate all day long about balance revisions, R21, since if you guys didn't know, I am the author of this patch and have been for the past 2 years. Most of the changes in this have been made by me, and I take all player input into account when doing anything. Lots of bug fixes and visual enhancements have been made. We're also running the 4K remaster mod here as well, which I also did, mostly during the pandemic, though I have improved it since then. So going for these APCs in this game, I've also built an outpost. Now this unit in R21 is now $1,300, so those can be made more sparingly. It's not such a risk. Plus they have more health compared to vanilla, so if you come up against a rifleman squad, you're not going to lose to a rifleman and give them a heroic rifleman squad, which is exactly what happened before. So I'm going to deploy this outpost. I'm going for a double airfield hammerhead. My original plan was to garrison those up with missile squads and use them to harass the enemy's tip field. I built an armory here, not to upgrade my infantry, but because it costs $1,000 and it's like the only thing that gives me build radius that costs that much. $1,000 means it only takes 10 seconds to build. I've got a little attack here with APCs. That's just going to be a distraction party more than anything. I've got those APCs on a separate control group, the hammerheads as well. I'm looking at this armory here, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't really need to upgrade anything as of right now. I'm building another refinery. Got 7 and 3 on my first field there, which is what you should have as ZOCOM or any faction if you intend to eco on this map. It differs from many of the other maps. Here it's 7 and 3. And also you need to consider spacing your refineries out against nod factions, just due to the catalyst missile being able to hit 2 at once. And it's actually easy to hit 2 at once nowadays because I fixed the decal. I actually remade the decal in Photoshop and adjusted the size from the border. That means the white circle of the decal you see when you try to use the catalyst will now represent the real radius of the support power. Some missile squads inside of that bunker there. That was a very good idea from Cyberstorm. He's actually going to force me back. I take some swipes at this flame tank, and unfortunately I was just unable to get it. That War Factory repair coming in clutch there. I lose a hammerhead, so I trade a hammerhead for doing not much at all. Got a second MCV because I know I'm not going to be able to hold that base in the bottom of the map. I put a refinery there. Don't know if this is going to pay off for itself. I mean, it did spawn a harvester, but it's useless trying to hold that area off. I'm better off just moving an MCV to the top and harvesting from that field. I did limit Cyberstorm to only that one spike in the south. I see a little bit of an opening in his main. I'm sweeping with these hammerheads, target some of those harvesters down. You want to try and target the ones with Tiberium inside first. This was a little bit of a mistake there from me targeting the one that had none inside, but yeah, I'm going to be able to kill 2 harvesters with those hammerheads and get out there no problem. Now the lifespan of these hammerheads will be cut short soon just because there is a tier 3 on this map, which means Tib Core is inevitable. It's going to be the first upgrade of choice even before the charged particle beam upgrade for the Black Hand player. Going Mammoth tanks here, a little bit of a random choice. I am floating resources and I thought, hey, I can't build any more aircraft. I can go maybe Firehawks. I was considering Firehawks, but most of all I need a Marv at this point just to hold off against the enemy Redeemers. The best counter to the enemy Epic unit is to just build your own one. Something I consider at this point is grabbing that EMP control center in the middle of the map. I'm going to start mining this area on the left hand side. You never know, man. I mean, mines, your opponent can forget about them. At most they're going to kill like a bike or 2, but you never know. Having mines littered over the map is not a bad idea. Not everything detects stealth, and so far I don't see any bike buggies, so maybe those can do some damage. At least it will slow down the enemy force. I'm going to set up a refinery at the top of this map. Building another refinery here, but it's not ideal for me because I don't have any space to split the 2 refineries off there. Got a combat support airfield. That's just to repair my aircraft. If I sell this off, I will get a rifleman squad. You get $250 plus a rifleman, so you're not gonna lose out from building these structures. They have more health now in this community patch. Before they had paper thin armor, they were terrible. They also desync the game. That no longer is a thing. And I'm now building these Firehawks. Marv moving in. Obelisk will be placed in a rather good position, shielded from that Marv's line of sight. I've got the Mav tanks in that base, looking to do some counter-attack damage. MCV for anti-infantry support mostly. That's why I'm pushing this in here. What I could do here is deploy the MCV into that defensive tower and capture that, but I decided it's more important to make use of this time, this window, in moving this MCV down this ramp, because I can't deploy there. MCV though does deploy. Amount of tanks will now engage this army of bike, buggy, purifiers and scorpion tanks. Sadly for me, one of my Mav tanks does go down, but not before claiming several lives of those bikes. I'm going to put a combat support airfield up on this ridge there, just so I can rearm these Firehawks closer to the front line. Because I'm going to start bombing his base if any obelisks come down. That's going to be my defense, or rather offensive unit against the obelisk of light. It's the closest thing I have to an artillery unit, and they have so much health. Tanking some of that tip core damage just so my hammerheads don't take as many casualties. And here I feel like I have to retreat with my Firehawks. They are not safe being there. They're going to get reloaded. Some mines will stall the advance of those bikes briefly. Firehawks dodged that damage, and now I need to think about bombing some of his base. But little did I know that my opponent had some Mantis there, and Mantis deals so much damage, being able to claim 4 of those ceramic armor Firehawks, man. And those have tons of health. Yeah, the Mantis definitely paying off. I did not realize those were there. But once Tip Core's online, you can see the picture really changes. Blackhand go from having difficulty against aircraft to completely smashing hammerheads and firehawks alike. Those Mantis, very powerful. Mines coming in handy there, destroying one of those bikes. This Marv's just staying put in my base, just so I can deal with the Redeemer, keeping the Redeemer in that location, pinning it down there. But what do I do against these bikes, man? I've only got one Hammerhead and a Sonic Emitter queued, and these bikes can dodge Sonic Emitters all day if they are microed. So Sonic Emitter comes down. But as mentioned, that's going to get at most one or two shots off. Working on a tier 4. Now what I can use the tier 4 on is a multitude of reasons. I can use the Shockwave Artillery on those Purifiers. Luckily for me, I do land one of those shells. Unfortunately, I do use the... I do EMP my own Sonic Emitter as well, which is unfortunate, but can't complain too much since I did stall those Purifiers, and I've summoned in the Zone Raider drop pod as well, which is an expensive support power. I'm going to have to force fire the ground and to kill these Purifiers, because the Flamethrower is just going to insta-kill my Zone Raiders otherwise, and I was able to kill those. Bikes will come in to try and kill those husks, but the Sonic Grenades were able to dispatch those bikes in one single salvo, and I'm able to reclaim the husk of those Purifiers. So not doing too bad here. That was decent, and I took this opportunity to move my Marv to this field. See what this does now. Zone Raiders coming in. I'm still in a very precarious situation since I don't have any Tiber on my fields. I got 2 Mav tanks and a Marv. That's pretty much all I have left, and these 2 Purifiers, which I did able to capture. Obvious of Light, man, super powerful. 3,000 cannon damage per shot. That's going to do tremendous damage to my armored force of Mammoth tanks. Marv does have double engineer inside of it, so it's going to be able to get some repairs out on the field. Will not need a rig to repair itself. I should consider putting those Zone Raiders inside of the APCs, since these particle beams can make short work of them. I've got one in this APC here, Veteran Zone Raiders, so if I can rank that up, then perhaps there is a chance I can offset my eco disadvantage. I really need veterancy. I need to somehow get some ranked up units here. I've got sniper teams in the back anticipating infantry. He can't use cloaking field to dispatch the sniper teams. At best he can use the raider buggies to kill them. Mantis also decent against sniper teams since they detect stealth and you can run over the snipers. Heroic Flame Tank, that is a problem, but my Purifier should be able to catch up with it and make short work of that there. Instead of queuing an MCV, I'm going to go for a rig and use that to repair my Marv. Even though my Marv is not super critically damaged as of yet, it's still nice to have a rig to repair it, because that's all my army as of right now. Those 2 Purifiers and the Marv. APC falls, but not before I degarrison those Zone Raiders, and they have promoted all the way to Heroic. No upgrades on those just yet. I could consider getting them, though, just for that one singular Zone Raider squad. Harvester there. Going to do some scouting for him. And this was a little bit of a mistake by Cyber engaging this Marv. Perhaps he felt he had a chance in killing it. I mean, he could have, since the Marv was pretty badly damaged, but it did go into those mines in the end of the day, and the Redeemer, as a result, will find itself in a very disadvantageous position, even taking rear damage in the process. So that Marv is now Vet 1, and I've got these sniper teams out. Zone Raiders, I'm going to put them in the Hammerhead. I thought, hey, even whilst heroic, they are pretty vulnerable still, so let's put them in the Hammerhead. It's unlikely, given those spikes got destroyed before, they will have more, so I thought that it's a good idea here to put this in the Hammerhead. But sadly for me, I mismicroed the Hammerhead, and Cyberstorm gets a volley off on that Hammerhead, and I was super disappointed in that there, because it was my ticket to victory really at this point, and I was a little bit tilted, even Orca striking my own outpost. Marv will get some repairs though by this rig. Moving this APC forward just to scout what is ahead of me. There's some infantry Once the Black Disciple upgrade is online, that's going to cause major devastation to my Marv. But all I have left really are 2-3 sniper teams and a Marv. Yes, when microed correctly, these can do a lot, but if the infantry all moves forward, then I feel like I'll lose all of this force. So here goes nothing. Redeemer is now back out. Marv moving forward. And I'm microing my heart out here. Charge particle beam shredder turret comes down. Want to pull back those sniper teams, otherwise they will be destroyed. Even summoning in the Bloodhounds just for those APCs so I can put the sniper teams inside of them. MCV moving forward. I'm going to use that to support this push with watchtowers. A lot of micro here. I'm just doing a bit of hit and run with those sniper teams. They do take a couple seconds to re-stealth, so that shredder turret was able to pick off one squad. Luckily for me, no mine drop available for the Black Hand faction. They don't get aircraft. Rage Gen fires off. But I felt like that was a little bit of a mistake there because he didn't catch any of my units besides the Marv. Speaking of Marv, it is now taking a ton of damage. The APC had a little bit of a reverse move bug, but I'm going to make use of that bad situation and use the mine drop there. Rig doing its job, tanking some shots from that Redeemer. Also repairing the Marv at the same time. Even in the late game, Risk can be super useful. Those particle shredder turrets are not going to do a lot against the massive amount of armor this Marv currently has. And I've got the sniper APC still alive. Those shredder turrets are just XP at this point for my Marv. He needs EMP buggies and he needs them now. Marv pushing forward. I'm going to build another rig to support this epic unit of mine. I'm not out of the woods just yet. This Marv is down to less than half health. And I'm running low on resources. Remember, he's on 3 fills. Now technically 2 if I take him off this one. And that tier 3 is now exposed to the Marv's damage. If it's not sold off, it's just going to grant a lot of XP. And I can see he's purchased the EMP cores. You can see on the tech lab there that it has the upgrade researched on it. I'm going to take a sip of water because I often tend to lose my voice during these casts. Here it is pretty warm today, 30 degrees. Sniper APC. Without snipers, I'm guessing the APC wouldn't really win that fight, but yeah, sniper's very, very good. The sharpshooter support power this game did major work for me. For this Marv, I'm just going to stay put for now. I took a considerable win there against that Redeemer infantry army. And now my best course would be to just sit there with the Marv and get some repairs. I see the Mantis, so let's not throw away this V35 Scout. I'm just going to be doing a bit of recon so I don't throw away this advantage I have. That includes taking all the assets on the map, like the EMP control center. Marv is getting repaired slowly. Not much resources for me currently. I got some income ticking in from those tip spikes. And the purifiers I have left there for now, just because I was afraid I'd get hit again by a flame tank. Looking at that base of his, he did not sell that obelisk off. So those purifiers can't move in just yet, but it's always best against Black Hand to have something in this part of the map, just so you don't get flanked by bike buggy or flame tanks. There is a real danger of Purifying Flame being upgraded at this stage of the game. And it only takes one of those to get into your base to turn the tide around quickly. Last thing you want is a base trade against Black Hand. They will almost always win that with the flame being so powerful. So I'm going to do some positioning with my APC Marv army. There's a Marv tank there just for good measure. That's going to come in handy against the Raider buggies. But it's mostly Raider buggies and infantry, but that's all that the Black Hand player needs. I deem now is a good time to push. My Marv has regained all of its health. And with this Ricky being here, it's going to take a ton of damage. It's going to get healed up. Snipers in the back there doing work. I've got them on whole ground stance just so they don't follow this infantry and get killed. EMP fires off, but I reversed that Marv near the garrison. I was hoping it would serve as cover, but unfortunately those rockets are firing through it. Not sure if that is intentional or not, but it's GG nonetheless, and this Marv will come through and win the game on tournament decision. I thought that was a cool game to showcase just because I was in such a precarious position with that outpost play early on not working out for me, and then I had to try and claw my way back. The purifiers I was able to dispose of with those zone raiders in the top of the map, and then subsequently the Marv push with snipers in the bottom was the killer blow there. So yeah, that's going to be it. I hope you all enjoyed this game. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. I'd really do appreciate that. And before I leave, again, I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for continuing to support me, my channel, on all the community projects I have undertaken. I very much appreciate the continued support. Anyways, guys, I'll see you all next time. This is it from me, Master Leaf. Peace out.